When you push, oh, there's the beginning. All right, everybody. This is a session with Sara and I, hosting a session on what it is to choose joy and happiness. So that's what we're here to do today. Welcome everyone from all places on the globe. I'm sure that we've got people from all around the world with us today. As I can look around, I see some of that happening in the group. Loving that. Welcome home, everybody. Welcome.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Those of you who know me know that the two words "welcome home" are probably the most important prayer of all. You know, and home for me is not just the house we live in, but it's actually the state of mind that we spend the majority of our time in. You know, and especially as we grow and we take our power and we love ourselves enough to do our work. You know, and we have aha moments and inspiration moments. You'll often hear me acknowledge those moments by saying, "Welcome home. Thank you for coming home. Thank you for doing the work and bringing your treasures home."
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so with that, you know, as Sara and I over the last couple of weeks were talking about preparing for this, and as some of you may have seen on Facebook when we advertised this, we chose the card, the Hermit Card. There's the image of the hermit who's there in his veil and his cloak and his hood is up. He's putting the lantern up for all to see, right? And so we thought that was such an appropriate metaphor, parable, story to compare what it is to choose joy, right? You know, because the hermit's job is to hold the light over the path, right? And so much of the hermit, as I understand the role of the hermit too, is he'll meet you where you're at on the path, right? And if the hermit's light is so bright all by himself, he'll hold a dimmer light up so that you can approach safely and meet you where you are at on your path.
It doesn't take a lot of light to light enough of the path for you to be able to take a step.
Yeah.
And so where there's a whole lot of talk about, you know, shining brightly for all to see, the light doesn't actually need to be full force and fully lit in order to light your next step. And really that's what's needed, is enough light, just enough to get that one step closer and to get out of that darkness yourself. And so we were just talking about that light being joy. And even if you're not, you know, out in the bright sunlight and you know, basking in all of this glow of joy, if you can find a glimmer, the glimmer is all you need to take a step, and you may find another glimmer. And so just holding that lantern and just managing your own expectations around that is really key.
Yeah, welcome, Misha. I think Misha just popped on the call. Nice to see you.
Welcome, Misha.
Yeah, and so in choosing light, in the role of the hermit in that metaphor about meeting you where you're at.
Good. Oh my God.
You know, meet you where you're at. Meet you where you're at. An important part of this journey to know, you know, when I've been in my dark times and I've been super lost in the darkness, seeing other people who are really happy and super creative and super in their joy, I've been bounced off of them. Like, I want that so badly, but I can't figure out how to get there, you know? And so all of a sudden that role of the hermit saying one step is all you need. One step's what you can do right now. Baby steps, you know, and I love that, you know, thou moving slow is good. You know, in the parable of the rabbit and the turtle on the race, the turtle wins the race, you know, and I think there's a lot of really good things around that. One step at a time, meet you where you're at, doing the good work you're here to do. Right. So as we move forward a little bit, you know, like choosing joy, you know, joy's a choice. You know, you don't find yourself accidentally in choice most of the time. Sometimes it appears that way. A cool thing will happen, you're like, oh, wow, this cool thing. I'm so happy right now. But I think today's conversation is about understanding joy, first of all, what it is. Two, the benefits of joy, the mechanism of joy, the tool of joy, using joy as a tool, right? And then actually moving into experiencing joy, using the tool, receiving the benefits of working the tool of joy and happiness, right? So I think that's kind of a little outline of what we're about to talk about for a few minutes. Any comments, questions, anything to add? All right, excellent, excellent. So, well, first of all, in getting into what it is to choose joy, I want to look at, I'm just going to ask each of you to acknowledge where joy is showing up in your life. Where, like today, right now, since you woke up this morning up until right now, in today's experience, let's just have a little acknowledgement and memory where joy showed up today. Like for me, there's been a couple of phone calls and always that first delicious cup of coffee. Oh, love it so much. Love it so much. It feels like a gift to myself to actually have that cup of coffee, sit down and enjoy it as opposed to fly out the door. And that's one of the things I gift myself in my own joy.
And I think it's something to note if you're going through and looking at moments where you may have found joy, and then you notice yourself dismissing it because, oh, that wouldn't count, or that's not big enough. It is big enough, and it's a seed that can grow and be grown if it's acknowledged. So be aware when you're filtering. Be aware of what your mind is attempting to dismiss, and really go digging and find your joy in your morning, find your joy in your day, and find your joy in your moment.
Harvest those moments.
I had a moment of joy today. My niece that I take care of all the time, they've been out of town for Christmas, and they came home today to pick up a few things. And she ran into the house and said, "Auntie Kimmy," and gave me this great big hug. And she missed me so much, and I missed her so much, and her little giggle. And she opened up her stocking that Santa left here for her, and her present, and that sheer screaming excitement little girl it's just my heart.
Oh, my heart. I love that.
And my dogs were so happy to see her. And it was so that was my moment of joy today.
Right on. Yeah. Harvesting moments of joy, and especially the little ones, like a cup of coffee or a hug from your niece, like I've got a pile of nephews, little ones that I'm Uncle Cory. Uncle Cory. Oh, God, it just melts me.
Right on. And I'm just sitting here, and my 200-pound Chihuahua is snoring as usual when I'm on a call. Mm-hmm. So I have to stay muted, but that is my joy, right? It's the little things that you, like you said, Cory, you dismiss a lot because it happens so often, but it really is delightful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And if we've been in a dark place, we've been depressed, or we've been struggling, sometimes harvesting those little baby joy moments is everything, and I think when we get into the work of choosing joy as a tool and working the tool, we also realize that those little ones are the most meaningful, give permission to using joy as the tool it is. So I really want to call out those little baby moments, because they're important.
Like little drops, like it's just like a faucet that hasn't quite turned off, and you think it doesn't matter, but they add up. And if you've got a bucket collecting them, then you have a whole bucket full of joy to remember and bathe in, which I love.
Yeah. So joy shows up. Joy shows up in our world, in our body. It's a physical sensation of relief. We get, all of a sudden, stress goes away. Our muscles soften. We take a deeper breath. All of a sudden, we soften all the way around. We soften in our body. We soften in our mind, and we soften in our spirit. when we experience joy. We open. You know, there's things that are closed that now open when we experience joy. And when we're open, things like aha moments, like, oh my God, that just occurred to me. That's just the thing. You know, inspirations, a new idea that came right when you needed it. Divine connections. I like to think about that a lot. You know, like when you think about someone you love and then the phone rings and it's them, right? These things that are often called coincidences, that as I do more of this work, I don't think there is such a thing as a coincidence. It's because we connect.
We're just so much closer to the field, and we're so much more receptive to it, that, you know, as we're up there and sitting, but what I have to ask, Cory, definitions.
Yeah.
What is joy? Because sometimes somebody's like, I don't have it. And it's simply a definitions thing. They don't know what they're looking for. They don't know what it is to have joy. Exactly. So they wouldn't know it. They don't even know that they've got it in their pocket. You know?
That it's happening all the time, right? One of the things that I think about with joy is connecting to something bigger than myself. You know, I connect to my friends, I connect to my family as we do the work with Superconscious and the Recode, and we practice focusing and connecting in, you know, in this magical information field. And we realize that we've been doing it our whole lives. We're just doing it with intention and consciousness. We feel each other. Then we gain wisdom to each other. That's joy to me. And all of a sudden, we all benefit by serving each other. All of a sudden we grow together, we heal each other, we arrive together, right? You know, and so this kind of brings me to what is the mechanism of joy? Like all of a sudden when joy starts happening in our life, joy starts happening literally in our physical body, in our mental sphere, and in our spiritual sphere. All of a sudden the tool of joy starts manifesting and doing its work. You know, joy's
the gears of joy start turning, and you find out that it's a mechanized, it's a tool that can be employed and shared, and it is, you know, self-fulfilling, and it grows itself as long as it's cared for, right?
It's contagious, you know. It's very contagious. You know, like when one person is laughing, all of a sudden 3 more start laughing, but they didn't hear the original source of the humor. But it's contagious because it feels good. Well, first and foremost, joy shows up and it feels good. You know.
Can I add something here?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I haven't laughed for a minute, or I've just been down for so long, or even just physically ill, if you YouTube any baby giggling, that true baby, it's so freaking contagious. It's like when somebody yawns. It's but if you just YouTube a baby laughing, that genuine baby, you have to laugh. It gets in your DNA right away.
The baby giggles.
Oh, those babies laugh. It's just so delightful. You can't help but giggle like laugh. It's so much fun.
Yeah, well, just hearing you laugh right now, Kim.
It's so sweet. I can't even stand how cute they are.
Right. You know,
what, Cory, when you do your dream cafe, and you invite the memory of the deep belly laughs and that laughing, and it was just called to mind again, that really hearty belly laugh where you've just totally forgotten yourself and you don't even remember what's so funny anymore. It's just everything's funny. But that sigh afterwards that you refer to, that moment of enjoying that moment. Yeah. And so it's twofold, where you've got your joy and then you can enjoy the joy, right? And I feel like that when you can recognize it and be in it and be aware of it, it wraps itself like a joyful burrito around you, and it's just
I'll have the joyful burrito. Smothered.
I'll take two.
I love that. That's great. Yeah, so like, the result of joy, when we choose joy, but also the byproduct of it, we're going to talk some more about that here in a second, but when, I want to enter into the conversation what it is, like the emotional vibrations. Our emotions carry vibrations, and a lot of us in this work, especially in the magnetic mind, we're aware of some of the science around the vibrations, the emotional vibrations, and like a low vibration of sorrow or anger, compared to a high vibration of bliss and joy, or a middle ground of willingness, right? That some willingness is somewhere in the middle, right? So, the mechanisms of joy we referred to a second ago, like, I remember being in a dark time and some other people were really, really happy, and I wanted that, but boy, it was unapproachable to me. It was unavailable. I wanted it so badly, but I could not see how to get there. And now, in this work of being a coach and being in service to people who are struggling, people in service who are wanting to, increase their joy and satisfaction in their own life. And I'm at a place now where I'm happy like crazy all the time. Now I'm the happy guy. And I see that I can bounce people, the ones I want to come closer as clients or people, loved ones. How do I not bounce them so far away because I'm happy and that's the very thing that they want? All of a sudden I'm on the other side of that story. So what do? You meet them in the middle, and
you take your lantern out and you light the next step for them.
Right. So I'm going to put my cloak on and pull my hood up and be my high vibration. And I'm going to light that little lantern for my brother, my sister, my family member, my tribe member who's in a darker place to say, all right, I got you. You can see just what you can see. I see that you can see what you can see. And I'll meet you there. I will meet you on the cosmic bridge right where you're at. And I think that's a sweet thing. And now doing that for others is a gorgeous thing, but I want this conversation today to say, all right, let's do that same work for ourselves. Let's meet ourselves where we're out on the cosmic bridge. Let's say, all right, my current reality is this, and I'm working towards what I see on the other side of this cosmic bridge. And how can I meet myself in the middle? How can I be my own hermit with the lantern and meet me where I'm at on my own path in a safe way with the right things in the right order so that I can grow, I can grow again. I can continue growing. In that growing, take out your cosmic trash, the things that no longer serve you. All of a sudden we can put those things we've held on to so tightly, we can actually put them down. And maybe leave them forever because we're done with some of those things. Maybe we can only put them down for a minute because we're still working on it. We're still attached, but meeting ourselves in the middle of choosing joy, the benefits of joy, moving into joy. Now, when we step into the benefits of joy, when we meet ourselves on the cosmic bridge, or we're in service to someone we love, meeting them on the cosmic bridge, or somebody is meeting us, because we're the one that needs the helping hand. We're receiving that gift. We're meeting the lantern on the bridge, the benefits of joy. When we step into joy and happiness, when we rise into that higher vibration, what happens, in the physical body, first and foremost, even when we fake a smile, our physical body, our brain, the neurons release chemicals. The oxytocin and endorphins release into our body just by a fake smile. And then all of a sudden that fake smile gets a little bigger because it's like, oh yeah, I know what that is. The power of smiling, the power of remembering joyful moments of the past, be that a beautiful laughter or an incredible coincidence or a raise at a job or some beautiful intimacy, romance, and sex, or whatever that joy is. We remember those sweet, sweet moments. Just remembering that oxytocin, that endorphin, our brain doesn't know the difference, that it's a memory, but our body then goes, oh, whoa, there it is. I remember joy. And then by
it's an actual tangible gift that you give your body to give yourself that dose of that cocktail that allows the relief, it allows the exhale, and it allows you, you're saying even when you put a smile on, and there's a lot of people who find that to be really fake. Or you might find yourself sitting in judgment of someone else, who's maybe acting a lot happier than they are, or some version of that. But if you consider what it takes for someone, an easy example, if you go to the gym, you can say, oh, well, you don't work out because I can see evidence. You obviously, that's not a lifestyle for you because your body isn't reflecting that you live that lifestyle. But more and more people are recognizing the effort that it takes to take those first steps. And the encouragement that is provided in a gym for somebody who hasn't exercised in a while and is trying. And there's a whole lot of support now where, 20, 15 years ago, there was a lot of judgment around that. And I would invite you to take the same approach to someone who's trying to be okay, trying to feel happy, trying to find that little glimmer of a moment to give themselves that relief. It's really important to support that and support yourself and understand that it doesn't need to be the whole thing all at once. You can put a smile on your face and try.
Yeah.
And you'll get a little dose of it. You'll get a little bit, and it'll come easier every time. And then you'll soon find yourself a few steps down the road.
Yeah, very true. As you were talking, Sarah, I was remembering, I think I must have been 11 or 12 years old, and I was sitting at the kitchen table, and my dad was with me, and I was doing my algebra homework, and I was frustrated beyond belief. I was angry, I was crying, and there was no way I was going to see a solution, an algebra solution. I was upset, right? Similar things happen when we're in one of those low vibration emotions, like when all of a sudden those aha moments, those growth moments, those evolution moments, those inspiration moments, they shut off, right? And when we're in those low vibration emotions, then we prove to ourselves that we can't have those things, right? All of a sudden now we are validified in our misery. Like, damn, we're stuck here. But then all of a sudden there's that hermit with the lantern, or there's that little bit of joy, or there's that coincidence from someone you love, that little hint of joy shows up, and then the light gets a little brighter. We feel it a little deeper, and then we go bigger and go bigger and go bigger. And so now here we are in this conversation on this call today, talking about joy as a tool, about how we've experienced joy in our lives, in our young childhood lives, in our young adult lives, and what we're doing today, and stepping into creating the world that we choose next. What an awesome thing, what an awesome opportunity. Right. So
as you were talking, it was clearer and clearer. People looking for joy, looking in the now. And I wanted to take the opportunity to remind people that your memories can be future memories. They can be past memories. They can be tandem. They can be quantum. They're everywhere. They can be subconscious, superconscious, self-conscious. Your memories are all there for you to access, and you can exercise your ability to pop something into your active experience and give it to yourself and bring it into the now. So whether you are remembering a moment of joy, or you are imagining a future moment of joy, or you're wishing in an alternate universe you can pull all of that into your now.
Yeah.
And you can have it and give that to yourself, and don't underestimate the ability to give a small piece of it to someone else, because it will grow.
Yes. So this is we become magnetic to the possibilities of the universe. Well, we are that already, but in joy and happiness and willingness, all of a sudden we get to dream with no limits. We get to all of a sudden create with no limits, and when we all of a sudden step into these higher vibrations, an incredible thing happens in our body, in our mind, and in our spirit. An incredible speed is now available. Things happen faster, like our ability to heal ourselves, right? All of a sudden, if you've got a diagnosis or a body issue or whatever is going on in your physical body, or whatever's going on in your mental belief system about who you are, who you think you are, old beliefs dying as we instill new beliefs as we grow and evolve. When we are in a higher vibration, the speed of this level of healing becomes very fast. When we're not in a high vibration, the speed of those things is so slow and often feels like it's not moving at all.
If you're oriented towards the beliefs, whether they're, you deem them positive or negative or useful or in service to you or not, when you're oriented towards the beliefs, you're not giving due attention to what you know, and what you know is in your superconscious. And again, to your point of the healing, it has been repeated ad nauseum that laughter is the best medicine. And it is true, and we all know that. But what it actually looks like and what it actually means is that it's accessible to you. You can take that and you can feed that to yourself, and you can increase your vibration, increase your power. And yes, you can magnetize things, and you can manifest stuff, and you can do all of these magical things. But when you supercharge your own power, you're like an electromagnet. Yeah. And you can crank that sucker up, and you can pull in whatever you need, whether it's healing, whether it's momentum, whether it's your manifestations, the life you love, the environment you need, whatever it is, and truly create. I think joy is like the main ingredient in that. I really do.
I couldn't agree more. And in my coaching practice before the magnetic mind, joy and happiness is pretty much the axle upon which it all evolves, because the benefits of choosing joy. When we're happy, other things happen. When we're happy, abundance shows up as a byproduct of happiness, right? And I love to think about that. If abundance is a byproduct of happiness, that means things like, if I'm in my abundance, I'm experiencing my abundance, I'm emotionalizing my experience of abundance, that means things like, oh my God, I just paid all my bills. Oh my God, the pantry is full and the chores are done. I'm in my God, look at you go. And if I'm in my abundance, now what do I do? If I've done the important things that were on my essential right now to-do list, that means I get to create again. I get to choose to dream again. More, bigger, deeper details, continue dreaming, continue creating, which feels good. It's fun. It's like being a 7-year-old in the sandbox with all the toys and the hose on.
Oh, it's like being a 4-year-old on Christmas morning. And yeah. Oh my Lord, when you took me through the Dream Cafe for the very first time, I was so serious. And I'm learning all of the things, and I'm trying to dissect all of the processes, and I'm trying to intellectualize them. But whatever I was doing, anyway, I was way too into it. And you're like, how about we dream? And I'm like, what? I need to learn the stuff. You're like, but how about we dream? And then you took me on this magical carpet ride, and I was just in stitches on the floor. It was so fun. And I just so need that in my life.
Well, we all need that.
It was absolutely that tipping point, that like when the scales tipped and I felt like, okay, it's all downhill from here. I got this. That's all thanks to all of the dreaming and all of the things on the menu, like the gifts and the stuff and the everything you could imagine. And it was so fun. So fun.
So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, the Dream Cafe is a meditation that I wrote after we started doing the lenses process, which is a goal setting and goal manifesting lifestyle choice that we do in the magnetic mind. I know a couple people here are new to that today. And so in order to step into dreaming and to make a true choice, I thought, let's give some magnet energy. Let's give some positivity to what it is to dream the most beautiful things. And let's get out the menu of the Dream Cafe with the chefs and everybody else engaged to say, you have a creation staff serving your creations. And so now let's imagine what's possible together. So there's a little meditation. That's what Sarah's referring to. And it's come up a couple times in this conversation. And I know a few of you here don't even know what that is. So I thought
well, it is the best invitation to play and remember how to play and find that joy, that little glimmer, that little bit more. And then again, and then you go around the corner and there's more, and it's just like fun on top of fun on top of fun. And it's empowered, literally raising your vibration, lifting your frequency, increasing your power, increasing your output. And it is an empowering exercise to play.
So here we've been talking about the benefits of joy. What is joy? The mechanisms, what happens in our physical body, mental body, spiritual body when we're in joy. And I love the word to enjoy, right? To be in joy. Right. And then, the tool of joy, what happens when we actually do that, the byproducts of joy, like all of a sudden we heal, we regenerate, we think more clearly, we think faster, we put things into action because it's not a chore, it's a delight. Those kinds of things. When we're happy about stuff, we're excited about stuff. Then all of a sudden it's not work, it's play. So I just thought, let's do a quick little go around. Does anybody have any questions or comments about what we've been talking about so far? Let's open up the circle for a second. Anybody? Oh, come on. There's got to be somebody out there with something. A little golden nugget to share.
Everyone hanging on your words, Cory.
I'll say one thing. When I was in South America, it used to just, I don't know, make me giggle a little when the waiters would say in English, enjoy, enjoy. And so in the morning when I give my dog his treats or her treats, I take them out from the bin and I just throw them and I say, enjoy.
Bravo.
I love that.
My mother-in-law is looking, actually, she's my ex-mother-in-law. My kids' grandma. And she's been wanting a treadmill. So I posted in a group today and somebody said that they had a treadmill to give away. So I called her today and I said, I found you a treadmill. She's like, I'll pay you in payments. And I'm like, no, you can't do that because somebody gave it to me. So I'm giving it to you. She's like, oh, she doesn't know how to be a receiver, I guess. But I know that I made her day and that made me feel good about myself to know that I told her, I said, that's my thing. I network. I know, I just know how to find stuff. And so that made me feel good today. And I found joy in knowing that I made her day.
Right on.
I love that.
That's what made my day, is I made her day.
Isn't that great? when it's
Yeah.
contagious and we pass it along. Yeah, I love that too. I do that every day.
And to you using, I mean, that's a prime example of giving joy and being able to, you know, spread. And I'm hearing phrases that are overused all over the place, and they've got such new meaning and new definition for me. But again, spread the joy. Yeah. I want to do that now. It's like,
Mm-hmm. That's a conscious
like
choice.
that meant nothing to me for years. Meant nothing. And
Yeah.
now it's everything.
Indeed. Anybody else want to chime in for a second before we move on? Anybody else? Little joy nugget? Nugget jumping, as we've been saying the last couple of calls. Anybody want to do some nugget jumping? All right. Excellent. Excellent.
Say
Well,
something. I'll
yeah,
say
Nikki.
something. Yeah. So I just feel like it's really joy right now, you know. Like right now is my joy. Does that make sense? It's like an overwhelming of joy, like
Right.
unspeakable.
I love that.
Because everybody that's on this call, like it just reminded me how I wanted to be around people that could feel like to bring the best out of people, you know, just to show them their love, and they can really know that through that they can experience unspeakable joy, not just joy, but unspeakable joy. And like right now, I got butterflies in my tummy. I feel like I'm with my best friends. Like, and I really honor that, because the people that I like to associate with is people that I want to associate with. And I couldn't ask for anybody, any group to be part of. It's just, it's electric. It's just joy.
Right on.
Yeah.
Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home.
Yeah. Welcome home. Thank you so much, Roy. It's beautiful. Thank
Right
you.
on, Nikki. Thank you for that. Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome. Thank you.
And I, go ahead, Sara.
That connection, and I'm sitting here feeling it as well. It's like all of the people, as we feed and spread all of these thoughts and all of these awarenesses, and fill the field with all of this joy, and you can just feel the collective energy lifting up and lifting our spirits. And again, there's another overused expression, but it's exactly that. And sometimes there are unspeakable feelings and unspeakable levels of awareness, and we just don't have an adequate vocabulary for it. But I find that as joy gets popped into the field, it's almost like we need to have a grappling hook and shoot up there and catch it and ground it down and anchor it in our real world, in our 3D world, you know, because it's floating around, and as we grow it in the ethers, it needs to be anchored. It needs to be brought into our life and acknowledged. And I just love that. Thank you, Nikki, for that.
Yeah, Nikki, thank you very much for that. You know, because the only time that we're in total control is in the present moment, right now.
I like.
So.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Charity. Bring it on.
Hi, I'm new. This first time at a Recode that you guys are having, and it's amazing. I love it. I'm loving this. Loving it. But I just like something to bounce a little bit off of what Sara said about grounding it. And I think one of the things that we miss out on when we have our bliss, our moments, are things like, I think you kind of touched on it already, is that acknowledgement piece. Is that piece when we recognize it as bliss, when we recognize it as joy, and we take that moment to lock it in there and to make it a memory that says, oh, that's joy. I gave myself some joy and watched that Pixar movie Inside Out. And so I'm really thinking in like a cartoon level, like in that I'm saying, lock it in, and here's this memory that's golden, you know, or whatever, and color it that way. So, you know, we don't take that time to acknowledge it as bliss and whatever. So we have all these ones that we acknowledge as bad, and all these other ones that we so easily acknowledge. And so we need more of those ones that we acknowledge and say, I have all these gold ones too, you know.
Right.
That's all I want to say.
Right. It's like your mental filing system. Take the time to label it. Take the time to properly file it so it's easily accessed. Don't just stick it in a drawer and say, whatever, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't go in the recycle bin. It needs a label. This is your joy. This is your happiness.
So, you know, I want to call out tagging joy. Tag it. You know, put it literally, like put a tag on it so that you can find it easily. Put a moniker on it, a cosmic Post-it note, a tether into a stake into the cosmic soil, whatever your metaphor, parable, connection, story is. One, to remember joy so that then you can experience joy, which means identify the emotions of joy and feel them. Step into the emotion of joy. You can read about joy and not feel joyful. This is about calling in the memory and then experiencing that joy, to grow it in the here and now, to do it right now, to bring it into joy with your conscious thought more often, at least more than half the time, right? At least more than 50% of the time. That's our goal. We still need to do our dark work. It's part of it. But we don't want to get stuck on just the dark side, right? We want to give it gravity and balance so that we can grow and evolve, as well as retire those things that no longer serve us, that we cherished, we put in place, old beliefs and patterns that were put in place to protect us that just don't do that anymore. In order to do that, you know, let's step into joy, like Chris talks about in our mentor, Chris, when he says, what is a true choice? It's because we love it. Well, there's some truth in that. We step into joy. We step into love. Joy is love. We do things because we love them. It makes us feel good.
I'd like to call attention to the fact that that is an action. It's a step. You have to take the step. And that it's propelled. You don't get pushed into joy.
Right.
You don't get hauled into joy. You don't get dragged into joy. You have to self-propel, step into joy.
My sweet mom always says, love is a verb. You know, joy is a verb. It's an action step. It's something you choose and do. Yeah. All right.
So shall we unpack?
Yes. I love this part.
So, you know, I would suggest everybody that you consider choosing joy in your choice for this recode. Of course, you can pick any choice that you're working on, any true choice in your lenses, whatever you want to create. Call it to mind. And what is it that you would love? What is it that you want to create? What is your true choice? And when you've got that formed and centered in your mind, and you've set the scene in your mind, now take a step into it. Step into that scene and become that. And how does that feel? How does it feel to have the awareness that you have now? To have the understandings that you have now? To have all of the potential. And you already are your potential. And how does that feel? And if you're choosing joy, how does it feel to fill that lantern? To shine that light for yourself, for others, try on the title of Spreader of Joy. How would you like that after your name? I am Spreader of Joy. And that feels cozy, it feels bright, it feels light, it feels dancing. It feels like a million stars in the sky. Feels like a million white caps out on the ocean. It just feels like everything. So in relation to that, if that's your choice, whatever your choice is, whatever your desired reality is, whatever that feeling was that you just had, where are you at right now? What does your current reality look like? And why does it look so different than the thing you want? What's keeping you in that dim little box? What's keeping you from sparking that light up? How does it feel to know that you've left yourself in a cold, dark corner compared to where you want to be? How far away does it feel? Can you even see the bridge? How dark is it where you are now? And now that you know that there's enough light for one step at a time, why aren't you stepping? How does it feel to know that you've denied yourself that joy, that desired end result, that choice that you want to make? You've denied it. You've just rubber stamped, declined, no, rejected. Why? Who's got the rubber stamp? Why did you allow that? What would somebody have to believe to allow that? Are there judgments? There's stories popping up all over the field. Childlike is not the same as childish. And what beliefs were there? What beliefs are still swimming around at the bottom of that pond? What's holding you down? What's got you by the ankles? What's keeping you in place? What is it going to take what part of you is voting to abandon the pursuit? What part of you has told you to sit down? What belief has you feeling like that's a fantasy? Because you know it's not. You know it's entirely possible. You've got the map, you've got the end result, you've got the feeling, you know. You know. So take a look at what's wrapped around your ankles. Who's got the shackles on you? What beliefs are the rocks and the balls and chains around your ankles? What's keeping you in place? What's slowing your stride? What's the rubber band that's yanking you back every time you try and step towards your light? And why are you allowing it? And now that that's all popped to the front, if I could go around in the circle here and ask, what is your resistance to your true choice on a scale of 0 to 10? How resistant are you to just going for it? Keep your numbers. And I'd like you to sit back and give Cory and I permission to connect to your superconscious. Just in your mind, I give Sara and Cory permission to connect to my superconscious. Superconscious, are you there? Do you see all of the resistance to this true choice? Superconscious, what is the priority? Superconscious, could you please check the definition of the word real and do a massive change history and everything? Thank you. Redefine so it's in alignment with what we know that we know. Superconscious, do you see the firefly jar? Can you apply that metaphor across the board, inviting the fireflies into the jar of their own accord, leaving the lid off of the jar so that they can go back and forth and jump into other jars as necessary? Apply that metaphor and do a massive change history and everything. Thank you.
Superconscious, I call the memory of an aha moment, inspiration, coincidence, brand new idea, bursting into laughter, the perfect timing of the perfect thing at the perfect moment. And to know that that's available all the time, in every way, with all of our choices. Thank you, Superconscious.
Superconscious, do all parts and aspects agree to treatment today? All right. Superconscious, could you please have a word with any part or aspect that is unwilling to participate and help them understand the benefits of treatment? Explain the metaphor of the river of desire. We want to be in the current, in the flow, and there are things blocking us from getting downstream. A dam has been built with boulders and sticks of beliefs and events and proof. And we would like to rearrange. We will not discount, dismiss, or disregard any part or aspect and their wisdom and understanding. But we are asking to rearrange what's blocking the path in order to have more satisfaction and less pain. Superconscious, do all parts understand this? Superconscious, please extend an invitation to all parts and aspects to take their seat at the round table of the main personality, please. Superconscious, are there any parts ready for integration today? Superconscious, please do a full parts integration and everything as necessary and do a massive change history. Thank you.
Superconscious, issues around self-doubt and self-deservedness are showing up in my world as I look into the field of not only this circle, but the field of the globe about where we are as a planet, about what we think we deserve and what we can and cannot have. Superconscious, please go back through all time and awaken the memory of abundance and possibility and light. Please do a massive change history for not just us in this room, but all people everywhere, that the work we're doing today is available and that it's not magic, that it's just simple and that we get to. Thank you.
Superconscious, do you recall all of the events? Please call up all of the events, highlight all of the proof that those part-time personalities and aspects are all clamoring about, all of the proof they have collected, all of their hard work to find that proof in order to keep us safe. Could you highlight all of the proof? And could you please infuse all of that proof with a higher perspective? Please open a full dialogue within the main personality at that table, sharing that wisdom and that information freely, sharing the proof, and open the discussion. Open the events. And Superconscious, please go back and find all of those bits of joy. So I collect them all. And in response to the stack of evidence and proof, please balance the scale with those joyful nuggets. Perfectly balanced. Superconscious, tag all of that and do a massive change history and everything. Thank you.
Superconscious, rising above all of our lifeline timelines from the bird's eye perspective, as we see the new lights of joy arising out of those timelines that go way back in our past lives, our father's lines and our mother's lines. And a reminder that joy has always been there. And it's actually been the thing, the glue, the adhesive, the mortar between the bricks for all of the resistance or struggle or hard times. It's been the very thing that allowed us to breathe deeper as we grow. And from looking backwards, we look forwards into our future, the future memories we create, where joy is more abundant, more useful, where the tools of joy are now oiled, cleaned, and sharpened and have a place in the box that is their own, so that they're ready for use every time. Thank you for that massive change history, awareness, enlightenment, and reminder. Thank you, Superconscious.
Superconscious, could you please treat the heart chakra? Open, clear, balanced. And Superconscious, please play the sound of the heart chakra. Let it sing. Infused with a joyful, joyful sound. With joyful hearts we sing. And let that song be heard. And let those that need a piece of light on their dark path, let them find it. Let us find it. And let us be that light. Carrying our lantern of fireflies to a massive change history in everything. Thank you.
Superconscious, please treat the physical sensation and memory in our body of joy, happiness, release, and delight. Please treat the memory of joy in our mind, of aha and clear thinking and amazing connection. And please treat our spirit, what it is to be in spirit with joy, our ability to create, to be in creativity, to receive the gifts of miscellaneous pieces that join in the jigsaw puzzle of divine creation, to share and to promote and to encourage others' ability to create. Thank you, Superconscious.
Superconscious, could you gift us with a dose of joy? Please adjust that chemical cocktail in our brain, lock in those synapse paths, allow joy to travel through that newly forged path in our brain so quickly. Remember and set that pathway and those chemicals, and Superconscious, can you turn that up for us? Grow the joy, dose us with joy. Superconscious, could you please tag that as a golden memory? To be called upon, left in the active experience, easily and readily available at all times, and do a massive change history in everything. Thank you. Superconscious, I'd like you to ground all of the memories that we've touched today, memories 1, 2, and 3, past memories, future memories, present memories, passed down, past lives, quantum, tandem, all timelines through all time and space. I'd like you to ground that solidly into the heartbeat of the earth. Anchor us with that and stitch it back into the matrix of the universe for more satisfaction and less pain. Thank you, Superconscious. And I invite you all to take 3 deep breaths, one for the body, one for the mind, and one for your soul. And when you're ready, come back and let us know how you're doing.
Welcome home, everybody. Welcome, Patrick.
Patrick.
Sara, are you there?
I am.
I wrote something down earlier today, and I didn't know if I was going to make it. I was going to make it for the 11 a.m. and you canceled that, and that was okay. And then you came up with this one that I saw, and I said, "Oh, I can do this," you know, because I even told Penny to join in and they'll miss out. You know, Penny, and she's also on the call, I think. But
Yes, she is.
this has been a life. This is off the charts. I don't even have words, but I scribbled it down. I really would like to just share 2 sentences what I wrote today. Can I?
Yes, absolutely.
Please.
Okay. This is like it's still, I don't know what it mean a lot to me. So, and when I was in the recode, it's just like my whole body's like, whoo, it's like, whoo, it's no, yeah. So let me tell you what it is. It's remember, the inner child is in here with you to be reminded, to be playful, to be free and discover, to see for the first time. And you have to remember your inner child within you, that you are safe.
Oh, that's
Did you
beautiful.
hear it? Did you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I don't know, it just feels like right now it's complete. Everything's complete for what I wrote, you know, the inner child is here within you to remind you to be playful, to be free and discover, to see for the first time. And then you have to remind your inner child within you that you are safe.
Beautiful, Nikki. That sounds like our whole recode, doesn't it? You've got it in 2 sentences and it took us an hour.
But your voice, both of your voices, it's almost, it's so soothing. It's like it goes through me, like it goes like, honestly, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like so much love and joy, but oh, it filled me up so much now that I'm so thankful. It's nothing like it. It's so beautiful, and I'm so thankful. It is like the best thing ever, and to be able to experience it at this time for me, it sums up everything for my whole life so far. Does that make sense?
That's beautiful. And I love that you've stepped your way there. You know, because you know, and you did it, and you're doing it, and you'll keep doing it, and you'll do it again. And it's,
yeah.
So Nikki, I hear you and I see you. I hear you.
Oh my God!
I hear you. I see you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I just feel like when you you know, to say that you keep on till you understand. Sometimes you don't really. So much is happening that it takes process. Like this recode, this session, it will take a few days, you know, to really let it work. But I mean, it's worked for sure, but it even gets better as the day progresses, you know. But yeah, I just feel like right now that, yeah, you just keep till you understand, you know. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Yeah.
Thank you,
you.
Nikki. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you. Thank you.
And how is everybody's resistance levels now to their true choice? I should check in with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where would you start? Where did you end up in your numbers? Lynn, 10 to 2. Awesome. Good for you, Lynn.
Wow.
Yeah. Nikki, 5 to 0. Woohoo. Good jump.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Anybody else? 10 to 7. All right. Kim fell asleep. All right.
Good for you, Kim. Ginny, how are you? Oh, 6 to 1. Good for you, Kim.
Yeah.
And Penny, we got some movement. That's awesome. 10 to 7.
Yeah. Big time. Yeah.
You guys started to do, you're like, okay, let's do the recode and get in it. And then I don't remember anything until you were asking for how he was feeling.
Right.
I cozied up on my couch with my 200-pound chihuahua snoring, and I was feeling comfortable and safe and happy. And then I got a recode.
Wonderful. How are you doing, Heather?
I was just typing it. I think consciously I was like 5 to 0, but I think I have a lot of unconscious resistance, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that's much less.
Well, I'd say just know it's less.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Charity?
I feel like Heather's background is all of a sudden brighter. Like, that's like my filter is better. Like I'm noticing that makes me feel happy. Like I like the background. Does that make sense? Like I'm noticing it, and I'm noticing the playful writing behind Cory's writing board or whatever that is. And I noticed it before, but now it looks playful and it looks fun. And I feel really good. I feel really I feel like I just keeping momentum. I felt a lot more resistant than I thought I would, but I had to be honest, and I was like, yeah, I'm at a 10, but a lot of movement, so that was great. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Thank you.
You know, there is a lot of resistance to joy, you know, messaging that we receive from our culture and our planet. You know, we're definitely taught directly as well as indirectly and subliminally that joy, we should not do that because, you know, one, when we're in our joy, it makes us powerful, you know, and there's a lot of big forces in the world that don't want us to be powerful. Right. So automatically we have resistance to choosing joy because we get messaging to do just that all over the place. You know, so as we do this work and we step into our power and we, you know, we're all of a sudden we are the resistance to the resistance. Like, I'm doing it anyway. I'm taking it back. You know, so yeah, I want to acknowledge what it is to like, ooh, I want to be happy, but ooh, I have the grumble attached to it. You know, and this work helps us lower that resistance. And no matter what measure of lower or less resistance we achieve is worth celebrating. It is noted.
It's less, it's not more. And
right.
It brings to mind this little light of mine and that hide it under a bushel. And a lot of people are so comfortable under that bushel. You know, it's enough light to light up around the bushel, but do you really want to go out there? You don't necessarily want to be seen.
Right.
And it can get a little emotional and a lot emotional. And it can feel a lot bigger than it needs to feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But so Misha, did you want to tell us what your experience was.
I'm already in such a state of joy. This just kind of rounded it out. It's yeah, all the work I've been doing this last year has just had me waking up every day in a constant state of joy. So this just kind of
Celebration party.
yeah, it's good. Yeah.
So happy to see you here, Misha. When you popped in at the top of the call, I was like, Misha's here. Woo-hoo!
It's so good to see your face this morning. I've been thinking about you, and
You too.
I saw the notification come across, and I was like, I need to make time and hop in and yeah, do a recode and see these amazing people. And so I too would have missed it at 11, but I saw it got moved to 1, and I was like, yes. See, but there again, it's
and
just
here we are. We're all enjoying the perfection of the moment, right? It's like
everything
that
is
perfectly
flowing exactly like it should be.
You're here.
Exactly.
I agree.
Well, it's wonderful to see you here, Misha.
Always
Thank
want
you.
more
It's
time
good to
with
see
you.
all you guys.
For sure. More time with you.
Yeah, I agree.
Penny, did you want to say anything about your experience?
I'm here. Hello.
Hello.
It was a big experience. Something I haven't wanted to tackle, but it was. It's on the way down, so it's good.
So we cleared off the top layer. Got some of the.
Yes, I think it sort of brought it to the surface. It actually made me acknowledge what was needed. So I think yeah, I know where I need to go now. So it's on the way.
Wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful news. I'm so happy you were able to join.
And yes, thank you, Nikki, for letting, because I get a bit confused over here in Australia with all the times. So thank you, Nikki, for letting me know.
Well, we had it set for a little earlier because of, we're trying to bounce between, Europe friendly versus Australia friendly, and this one was set for what would have been about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have made it. So
Right.
thank you. Yeah.
And then it just happened that it needed to be pushed out so that.
So yep, I'm here. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
we were
you.
joking that our cosmic secretary rescheduled this meeting to a more appropriate time for all of us, including Sara and I.
Yeah, including both of us. I'm like, I could have done it, but yeah, it wasn't happening. It was like refusing. Like, okay, reschedule.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for being here, and I'm just going to turn off the recording and we can hang out for a little bit.